Hello YouTube, got another Patton game for you, and I promise I have other tanks. I have lots of other tanks, but I've just been playing this one a lot lately because for some reason, I don't know, I really like the look of the M48 Patton. I just think it's a really cool looking tank, so I've been trying to, grind my way to it as quickly as possible, and this chat is just ridiculous. Anyway, so this is another pretty decent game that I've had lately while grinding the Patton. And whereas in the last game I was trying to emphasize more the spotting distance and how this tank can spot really well, and you'll see some of that here, but this is more straight damage, straight DPM, and just showing how well this gun works. The teams are fairly evenly matched. They do have an advantage. They have one better blue player, one more good player, that Object 263, and you'll see he goes down swinging, and my frame rate is tanking. I'm trying to get better resolution just because last game, and that's not a good start. I lose my turret right from the get-go, and I have to use my repair kit on it. But anyways, you'll see I make up for it later on in the game, and I still get some spotting damage on that T-44, so whatever. And that actually tracked the T-49, and I got track assist damage, as you can see there, but not a full damage hit, obviously. I'm trying to get a beat on this Conqueror, but he's behind the hill there. So yeah, I'm trying to get my graphics up, but I'm running in kind of a potato rig, so it's kind of a struggle between getting good FPS and good quality video. Hopefully once I save up some money, I'll upgrade it, but whatever, that's not what this is about. Take a shot on that RE251 air, and check out the shell velocity on this gun. A lot of people say this gun's not really that great, but I think it's pretty good, especially after the patch. What I like to think of this gun as is and I start putting the hurt on that E50. It's kind of like a faster firing, slightly more accurate, I think faster shell velocity as well, BL9, from the IS-3, but at tier 9, and I mean that gun can do work even in tier 10 if you're, any good, so this isn't a bad gun at all. And I'm only a few minutes into the game, I'm already at 1500 damage. And this is what I like to do in this map and these kind of positions, is just take this little hill area here, because there's a lot of cover and you're in a high up position, well, concealment, not cover per se. And like I said, this tank does have some camo rating, and I have the camo paint on it, and some of my crew members are trained in it. Put another shot through that 1390. I don't know why he's out there brawling like that, but anyways, yeah, that was poorly aimed. I should have led that target more. And obviously 6th Sense is a must on this tank, because you do not want to get hit. It has some armor, but it's not really enough to save you against most enemies. The armor does improve when you're hulled down, because I'm trying to show it, but it's not really working. Anyways, the armor is sloped back a little bit on the front and a little bit on the top of the turret as well, and obviously when you're hull down, that becomes effectively better. And here's what I want to say with being a fairly decent player in these kind of matchups where it's pretty close. You kind of want to just preserve your HP and keep your gun in the action and just do as much damage as possible. Don't necessarily worry about kills, just worry about whittling down the enemy team as much as possible. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. You'll notice I'm not focusing too much. Oh, and that guy had to have an auto extinguisher just because of how quickly he extinguished the fire there. I'm not focusing too much on any one target. I left this intentionally in my camera mode, the one that was active when I was playing the game, just so you see how much I'm whipping the camera around. Try to pay attention to the map, pay attention to what's going on in the game, and if one target moves behind cover, don't just sit there and tunnel vision out and wait for him to come out. And that one missed. I didn't fully aim, and I'm kind of doing that a little bit here. But if you don't have a shot, and some of these blind shots actually do hit because I did more damage in the stats than what it's showing in the XVM counter there. But yeah, so don't tunnel vision on one enemy and just oh, I really want to kill this guy, I really want to get kills. get a little bit of XP and credits for kills, but damage is really the way to go, especially when the teams are closely stacked in terms of skill like this. So just keep doing damage, and you know, if you have shots on something, take it. If you don't have a shot, find something else to shoot at. And I kind of got lucky because my team was spotting a decent amount, but as you can see right there, I'm doing a decent amount of spotting myself, and we very decisively take out those two enemy tanks there, and now it's 9-6 and they're falling back, so I'm moving up to get more damage because, and I feel like with this tank it's kind of, well, I guess with all tanks really, you have to know when to sit back and when to move in and play aggressive. And I moved to this new position here, and that Object 263 is their best player, and he's got 4 kills, so he's putting up a fight, you know, and they still have a Type 4 Heavy and a full health T-32. I mean, they still have a decent amount of tanks. This game's pretty close. If we didn't have them surrounded, they might have actually pulled us off, but, and that was a dumb shot. I just trusted auto aim, and you don't always want to do that. Sometimes it helps. And that blind shot did hit because I just killed that guy. So yeah, here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just kind of keep these enemies lit as much as possible so our team knows what they're doing. Hopefully our arty will hit them. And check out how I just dodged that Type 4. That's what I like about this tank. It has pretty good reverse speed, so you can just take those kind of peekaboo shots and get out of, and it has good aim time too, so you can take those kind of peekaboo shots and not get hit. And I did actually get hit by that T-32 in the mantlet there, under the mantlet, but it bounced. And I'm pretty sure that shot went in, because, like I said, but anyways, I'm surprised that shot didn't, like, shot trap into the top of my hull armor, but I guess not. That was a bad shot. I kind of twitched there and didn't wait for the server reticle to catch up. And I think this shot hits, but I'm not too sure. So the Type 4, he looks like he's trying to kill me, but he's really slow and he can't get up this hill, and we've got him surrounded. And I don't want to go out there yet just because that Object 263 is over there, and he's got pretty monstrous DPM and good alpha, and I don't have a whole lot of HP, so they could probably all whittle me down pretty quickly. And again, check out that shell velocity. That STA-1 was moving back as I pulled the trigger, and it still hit him. So, you know, this is a pretty good gun. I don't know, this is just one of my favorite tanks to play, specifically for the gun. Just, I like that combination of good alpha and also good reload speed. It's just really satisfying to, like, shoot enemies with this. I don't know, I guess it is with all of the guns, but this one especially. I like this tank. I'll probably keep it after I get the M48, and I did a little loop-de-loop there so I can go down the hill and get some momentum and then get over to this T-32. And I'm running high octane, or medium, you know, blue gas, whatever you want to call it. And the T-32 is dead. And that's the end of the game. But yeah, I like running the gas consumable on this tank just because it's pretty fast, but it's not quite fast enough for my taste, and that just helps a little bit. Sometimes I like to run the red gas, but it's really expensive and it's hard to actually make money that way, and you don't really make a lot of money in Tier 9 anyway. So yeah, and you notice I didn't fire a single APCR round that game, so this gun can do work even with the subpar penetration, as some people would claim. And so yeah, I was pretty proud of this game. Like, it wasn't the best Patton game I've had. I think it was only good enough for a first class mastery badge, but you'll see I did over 6,000 damage and I think like 2,000 spotting or something like that. So I played a pretty active role in this tank in this game. And let's look at the stats. Alright, so here are the results. First class mastery badge or whatever, I keep forgetting what that's called. So just over 6,000 damage and just under 2,000 spotting damage. And so like this is a pretty decent game for me, I think. So 6,000 damage is nothing to sneeze at, and like I got the spotter medal too, you see there. So like I was doing a decent amount of spotting myself, and I got both Confederate and high caliber, which is, you know, always a good feeling. And you can see the accuracy there wasn't so great, 75%. I missed like, what is that, 8? Yeah, 8 of my shots. So yeah, this gun is the most accurate, but the DPM definitely makes up for it. It's just like, oh no, you missed. You'll have another shot in 7 seconds, and like, yeah, I know that can be a long time if they get out of the way or something, but like, it more than makes up for it. And let's look at the team stats. Here you go. Most damage by far. Not the most kills, not the most XP, but it's still pretty close. A 1246 base XP game, I feel like, is pretty decent. And that Centurion got a lot less damage, but he got more XP, and I'm not sure why. I guess he was probably focusing the higher tier tanks. And that's probably for the best, just because the Centurion has APCR standard ammo, and it's significantly more accurate than the Patton, and it has way better penetration. Like, that gun is practically a laser cannon, but it just does not have the DPM. So it's good to kind of like know your role and hit the targets that you know you can penetrate, or at least mostly penetrate most of the time. Like, don't spend a lot of time just dinking shots off a mouse or something and hoping you're gonna like hit his lower plate and get a good damage, good penetration RNG roll, and, you know, do some damage. I wouldn't recommend that. I would just say, like, be realistic about the targets you're shooting at, and, you know, if you have a good chance to penetrate, shoot. And like, I guess obviously if there's nothing else to shoot at, you might as well, but don't focus too much on one enemy. And you know, kind of like, tunnel vision is bad just in this game in general. So yeah, like, I feel like that was a pretty good game. And let's look at the next screen here. And I'm surprised I didn't get the tank sniper, because most of my damage was from more than 300 meters. And yeah, so I don't know how that metal works. I get it, and I'm just like, yay, I got it. Sometimes I don't know. But yeah, hopefully the video quality on this one will be better. I try to turn up the resolution, so we'll see. Hopefully it won't be as washed out as the last game. Anyways, see you on the next one.